So there were three upsets today. Wawrinka was probably the biggest one that got knocked out by Opelka. Keys would be the next one. She got knocked out by Hercog. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. And then there was Yastremska beating Kenin, which I'm not sure a lot of people would think that that's much of an upset, but I think it's a pretty big upset because Kenin won Mallorca recently on the grass. Was looking really good coming in, had good form, has had a good season so far, her best ever. But I did see her first round match, and I saw some of like what I would call a flat body. Her body's feeling it right now. I mean, she played a lot of tennis on grass coming in, and so I'm not completely surprised. But Yastremska's only a 19-year-old, and she looked pretty nervous her first match, so I'm pretty surprised. But Yastremska is very good at grass, and she's in really good form too, and she's flying high right now, so it happened. The other ones, I'm actually less surprised. I'm more surprised by Kenin than even Wawrinka, because Wawrinka hasn't really been in great form this year. He seems like he's trying to get his form back. He really kind of, I don't want to say fatigues, but he kind of like bails away in a lot of his matches that aren't the slams, and then he looks stronger in the slams. Like he looks stronger at the French, and he played some really good tennis at the French. But I'm still wondering if he still has some issues going on in the leg area, in the knee area, and if not that, then it's just simply that he hasn't found his best form yet. And on grass, Opelka has a huge serve. Now, Opelka didn't play much since the French Open. He only had, I think, one match coming in, and he didn't look that great his first round either. Wawrinka didn't look that great, but neither did Opelka. Opelka looked pretty flat, to be honest with you, his first match. But he has that big serve, and I didn't even see the match. I have someone watching that for me and going to report to me on it. But I'm pretty sure that his serve was dominant and made was a big problem. Also, these courts, I'm going to have a report to everybody about these courts this year, but they're getting beat up faster this year, and because of that, they're going to play more like a hard court like they did in the past, with a really firm soil base. Everything's going to be firm and hard. Whereas last year, I felt like there was more grass left on the court than I've seen in a long time. So, and because of that, it was actually acing a lot. Like there was a lot better for the serve. Like in the service box, there was a lot more grass. So you saw like Isner, Anderson went really far and deep because it was like the old grass style more. But then also because of the heavier amount of grass and the ball, the way it was slower last year, it's about the same. The ball seems about the same this year, but it was really slow. It's a slow ball. I thought we had more rallies from the back of the court, so there was almost like more of a fast clay court feel from the back, but a more old school grass from the serve. And there you had Anderson, Isner going all the way. Then you had Nadal, Djokovic, and those guys. So this year it's back to that way it had been, like the end of the 2000s, early 2010s, where it was like more like a hard court, like a faster kind of hard court. And I think that's what we're seeing now. So that's going to be good for serve too. So anyways, that, but none of this really plays a part. I think this is a lot more about Wawrinka is just not in his best form, and Opelka is dangerous on a grass court, any kind of grass court, and because of his big serve. And then Keys isn't in good form right now. I mean, she had a good run at the French, but she hasn't been in form through most of the year, recovering from, again, a multitude of injuries. The left knee was the latest one. And when I saw her in her first round match, she looked stiff to me. I mean, her body looked stiff. She didn't play any grass event coming in, and she looked stiff. And so I'm not completely surprised. Hercog, who used to not be good, she has a big looping swing, and she used to not be good at all on any kind of grass, even this new style grass, which gives you a little more time, and even with a slower ball. But the last 2 years or so, or maybe 3 years, it's been coming for a while. I see her improving every year, and she's actually not so bad on grass now, and she's in decent form. She's really making a kind of an under the radar comeback. So I'm really excited, because she was a real talent before and then had some of her own injuries, and I wasn't sure how serious she was about getting back into form, but she is back. She's in form. Keys is not, so that's not a big surprise to me. The Wawrinka loss is not a big surprise to me. Kenin, pretty big surprise to me, but she's out. Yastremska is very good at grass, and onward we go. Corey Goff won again. Not surprised at all by this. The commentators are like, there's another upset here going on, and it's me. I'm upset because I had I liked my Corey Goff video I put out before she played Venus, and it's been taken off because of copyright. And I don't know, it's like Star of India I don't know who this is. I looked them up. They're a big company, a media company in India. I don't know if they're connected to ESPN Plus, but I was using, the ESPN Plus for Corey's first round qualifying match and pointing out some things, and it was a nice video. And more than anything, a few of my friends didn't get to see it yet, and one of my friends just said to me he tried to watch it and it had already been taken down, and I just couldn't believe it. Now I don't know if this Star of India is connected to ESPN Plus and that's the reason, or it's just some random thing, but it got taken down. I'm gonna have to do another Corey Goff video, but I've been watching her for a couple years, like other people I know too. I really watched her a lot in 2017, and then last year, of course. Went to her qualifying at US Open last year, and there were a ton of people there. So I'm not trying to say I'm the one who was following her. It was a bunch of people, but it wasn't ESPN or anybody. It was a bunch of other, tennis nerds, if you will, who've been following her, and none of us would be surprised by this at all. I mean, the first time you see her, you were like physically unbelievable, way mature, ahead of her years. The only thing I'm sort of surprised is she always had a cranky side to her, and she's competitive, and she was young, so I wasn't too concerned about it, but I wondered if that would be a downfall with her in later years, but she's already corrected it. I never thought she would actually correct an emotional situation this quick in her young career. She's only 15, so, and yeah, she's got it all going for her. She's tremendous in interviews. She seems like a sweetheart off the court. It's almost too good to be true, but for now, let's just ride the wave and let's hope that this continues for her, and I'm real happy for her. But Rybarikova is a good grass player, but has been in really bad form. She's had injuries again, and the ESPN was saying, oh, she's really good at grass, but this Rybarikova right now at this place in time was not really going to amount much of a challenge. But at the same time, I will say this, and ESPN pointed this out, and they're very correct in doing so, is that Corey didn't have a big letdown. So if Corey had a big letdown from the Venus win, that wouldn't have surprised me either, but she didn't do that, and that's pretty cool. But I kind of feel like Rybarikova wasn't going to do it. And the next match, or it's Hercog, actually that's going to be tougher because Hercog is in really good form. So that's going to be very, very interesting. I think it's going to be somewhat of a battle. I think Corey can get this too, because I think another thing I was saying, and I'm not making this up, maybe I'll have friends come on and verify for me, but I don't know if that will prove anything. But back in 2017, I was saying right away, this girl could be great at grass. It's her aggression, and it's the new grass. I'm not talking about old style grass, the new grass courts now. They fit Corey so well. I mean, because she can run balls down too. She's like a combo, like I say, between Venus and Serena. I've been saying that from the beginning too. She has this power and brutality and a huge competitive spirit like Serena, but at the same time, she has the finesse and the skill and the guile, and she can come to the net like Venus. She has a little, and she's built like that in between. She has a little bit of the strength and muscle of Serena. She's a strong, people forget Venus was so thin back in the day. Corey has some of that thinness, but not as thin as Venus was, but she has some of that strength and size of Serena, so she's got this mix. I love, from the minute I've seen her, I've loved her, I've been rooting for her, and I'm glad to see this happening. It's going to be interesting. I think she can get by Hercog. Will be an interesting match. Hercog's in form, so neither Venus nor Rybarikova are in form. And then I'll hopefully have some information on the grass courts. I understand what's happening at Court 1. I know why that's all beat up. I'm not sure about all the rest yet. I have one more email. My best source got to me finally, but I'm trying to get some more details straightened out before I put it on video.